Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video here with this CDE CAD system. We'll be showcasing a brand new feature that's about to drop. It's actually called Witness Reports. So first thing that you'll do is in your modern or traditional dashboard. Right now we're in the traditional. We'll go ahead and jump into forms. Here, as you can see, we've got all these different report types, which we've covered previously in a video, which you can find in the iCard up at the top of your screen. We're going to be jumping into the witness statements. So, of course, this is going to start out like any other report. Generally, you're going to have this section, of course, your narrative, your postal, and of course, if you're attached to a call, this can be all auto-filled. So we can go ahead and fill all this out and attest narrative there. So as we jump down a little bit deeper here, you can see we have an incident detail section with your incident type. For instance, we could do assault, and then we can also put where the incident took place, what happened, and then you have your private officer notes. So these are not going to be visible to witnesses whatsoever. So here's where you would basically put, besides the narrative, what you encountered, what you want to make sure that witnesses don't see. So if you have you don't want to be leading a witness into saying something through a witness statement. So obviously this is something that if you're trying to state what happened, but you don't want to lead the witness to a conclusion, you can put that in the officer notes section. We can also link this to a specific case. So that means essentially, if there was a use of force report, if there was a pursuit report, if there was any other arrest report, you could link that to here. For instance, this is an arrest warrant. And you can select whichever one that you need to. So for the suspect information, this is actually going to be who the charges are going to go against, or who the incident is specifically pertaining to. So we'll just put Juan Carlos in here. Of course, that'll all be auto-filled. And then any description. And down here, this is where we will put our witnesses. So when you're on scene, you're talking to the civilians. Hey, say, tell me what happened. Tell me what happened, right? This is where you'll get their information. You'll get their names. And essentially, we'll just add a couple of them in here. Once you add those civilians in, you can actually send them a URL link on the CAD for the specific report, which will then allow them to copy this link right here, and then they can go in and fill out their section. So we'll go ahead and jump into that now. It's important to note, if you're trying to access a witness report, but you're not actually the witness, you're going to get this message. So you're not going to be able to access it. So it's secure only for the account holder that the civilian or the witness that you add pertains to will be able to access that URL. So this is what it will look like on the witness's end. So they click the link, they have access to that civilian that you added. In this case, we are John Winters. Then they can go in, they can see the incident information, what had occurred, what road, what department, what officer are they dealing with, incident description. It will also ask them where they were. So you could say sitting on a curb, maybe they were standing on a driveway. What did they see exactly? And it informs them they should describe everything they saw. What did you hear? And then any additional details or notes. You can also leave your contact information, whether that's in-game or your in-game email address through something like the LB phone. And you can also attach evidence links. So if you have a video of said thing, you can actually attach that directly here and the officers can view it. In this case, we don't have an evidence link, so we can just go ahead and submit. Once you submit it, it'll look a little bit something like this. Appreciate your cooperation. And now if we go back to our open reports here, we can actually see John Winters has submitted their section. We can go in and we can view that witness statement specifically. We can also print if we need to share this to another department member. It also informs us that statement 2 has not yet been submitted by the other witness. So now that we have gotten both witnesses to fill out the form, we can see this has changed from waiting to needs your review. So once you go in and view this report, you can go in and make sure that everything looks correct, all the details are lining up, no false information, anything like that. You can view the evidence, all that fun stuff. You can sign off and submit the report. So that'll actually put it out of the drafts or the open reports and push it towards submitted reports. So once it's been submitted, we're now awaiting supervisor approval. So at this point, the officer has signed off and the supervisor has to go in and approve the report, just like any other report, before it shows up in the CAD system. On the supervisor dashboard, we can see we have a couple different statuses. We have reports that have been previously approved, like this one. We also have reports that are awaiting witnesses still. So they're still waiting 2 witnesses to fill it out. And then we also have reports that are awaiting our approval. So once we do that, then we can go in and we can actually approve this report. I'm not going to do that just because it's a test report, but we can go in and approve it if it was a real case scenario. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to reach out. We'd be happy to help answer any questions. You can go to cdecad.com, get on the wait list. That way your community may be selected next. There's also a coupon code down there in the description if you are interested in waitlisting and purchasing the CAD system. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one.